Ever get tired of talking to those AI bots? The ones that sound like they were programmed by a toaster.
Well, this week, we're talking about how developers are making those conversations smarter using routines and handoffs.
Yeah, it's like, how do we teach AI to think like us, handle the curveballs of a real conversation?
Exactly. And we're going to unpack all of that today.
We're going straight to OpenAI's cookbook for this one, looking specifically at their article, Orchestrating Agents. Routines and Handoffs, published October 10th, 2024.
Just last week, so nice and fresh.
Okay, so routines, handoffs, orchestrating agents, sounds pretty technical.
It is, but the article does a great job at explaining it all, don't we?
Okay, good, because I'm going to need that. So routines, where do we even start with that?
So think of a routine like giving an AI a to-do list, except it's not about just blindly following the steps.
Okay, so not just like step one, do this, step two, do that.
Exactly. It's much more nuanced than that. It's all about making these AI agents more adaptable, more able to improvise.
Like a choose your own adventure, but for AI.
Yes, like the article gives this great example of using a routine for a customer service scenario.
Yeah, that seems like a perfect application for something like this because so much can go wrong.
Exactly. So, like, let's say your order never arrived, right?
Oh, the worst.
The AI running in the background, it's got this routine to follow, a set of instructions, basically.
So behind the scenes, it's like, okay, what do I do? What do I do?
Right. And it knows to ask you for your order number. It can check its system to see if it can find tracking information, all that.
Okay, so it's not going off script, but it also knows when to check the playbook.
And if it needs to, it can offer you a refund or even connect you with a real person.
Oh, thank goodness. I was wondering when the humans would get involved.
Well, sometimes you need that human touch. But what's really cool is that the AI can ask clarifying questions along the way. It doesn't have to just robotically follow the script.
It can be like, okay, and what's your order number again? Just want to double check that for you.
Exactly. And that's what the article calls soft adherence.
Soft adherence. Okay, I like that. It's like it has a plan, but it can deviate a little bit if it needs to.
It's all about making those interactions feel more human.
Right, because at the end of the day, we want to feel like we're talking to someone who gets us, not just a machine spitting out pre-programmed responses.
100%.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say you've got a really complex issue, something that the AI just can't handle on its own. What happens then?
That's where those handoffs come in, right? Like
Yeah.
transferring me to a specialist.
That's exactly it. Like if you called a big company, they'd transfer you to the right department.
Right, not just keep bouncing me around until I give up.
Exactly. It's about making sure you get connected with the AI that can actually help you.
So instead of trying to explain my refund to an AI that's clearly out of its depth,
I can just get transferred to the refund specialist bot.
sign me up. Okay, so how does that actually work, like on a technical level?
Well, the article actually goes into some code examples.
Oh, boy.
But don't worry, we won't bore you with all the details.
I appreciate that. So it's not just about keywords, is it? Like if I say refund, it doesn't just automatically dump me on some other bot.
No, it's smarter than that. Remember those routines we were talking about, those instructions for the AI?
Yeah, like the AI's to-do list.
Right. Well, developers can actually build in these triggers that activate a handoff when certain conditions are met.
Okay, so going back to the refund example, the AI hears the word refund, but it also recognizes that I'm talking about a specific order that hasn't arrived yet.
And boom, it triggers that handoff to the refund specialist agent.
Okay, that's pretty slick. And then what happens when I get transferred? Do I have to start all over again, explain my whole life story to this new bot?
That's the best part. You don't have to repeat yourself. The new AI agent actually receives the entire conversation history up to that point.
No more repeating my order number 1,000 times. I love it. Okay, but this whole thing with routines and handoffs, I feel like we could apply this to way more than just customer service, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about industries like finance or healthcare, where you've got these really complex workflows.
Right, like processing insurance claims or analyzing patient data.
Exactly. And you could have AI agents handling different parts of that process, seamlessly handing off information between them.
It'd be like a perfectly coordinated AI orchestra, each agent playing its part.
And because those handoffs are built right into the routines, the whole thing just flows. It's efficient, it's streamlined.
Okay, but what about something a little more fun? Like, could we use this in video games?
Now you're talking. Imagine playing a game where the characters you're interacting with are powered by AI agents.
And each agent has its own personality, its own motivation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they could use routines and handoffs to create these really dynamic and unpredictable experiences.
So like a character I'm talking to could seamlessly hand me off to another character without breaking the flow of the story.
And because the new AI has access to the conversation history, It can pick up right where the last one left off.
It'd be like having a real conversation in a video game. That's
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're really just starting to explore what's possible with this technology.
Speaking of exploring what's possible, the article mentions something called the Swarm Library. What's that all about?
So Swarm is basically a tool, a playground for developers who want to experiment with building these multi-agent systems.
So it's like a testing ground for all these crazy AI routines and handoffs.
Exactly. It's still early days, but it gives developers a way to build and test their own ideas to see what works and what doesn't.
And as more developers get their hands on it, we can expect to see some pretty incredible applications.
Absolutely. The possibilities are really endless. It's an exciting time to be working in AI.
It really is. But with any new technology, especially one as powerful as AI,
Yeah.
we have to be mindful of the potential downsides.
Yeah, downsides.
Yeah,
It's like we can't just get caught up in all the cool stuff without thinking about what could go wrong.
you're absolutely right. And to be fair, the article doesn't shy away from that at all.
So they're aware of the risks.
Oh, yeah. Developers are thinking very carefully about how to build these AI systems responsibly. Okay, so what kind of safeguards are we talking about? Like, what's stopping those routines from going off the rails?
So think of it this way. Developers are building these routines with error handling in mind.
Error handling.
Right. So let's say the AI encounters a situation it wasn't programmed to handle. Like maybe it needs a piece of information that's missing or it doesn't make sense.
Okay, so I'm chatting with this bot and suddenly it's hit a brick wall. Like, it doesn't understand my question.
Right, exactly. And instead of just crashing or giving you a nonsensical answer,
Which, let's be honest, we've all been there.
the AI is designed to recognize that it's stuck, and it can trigger a handoff to a human operator.
Okay, so there's still a human in the loop somewhere, ready to take over when things get hairy.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance between AI and human intervention.
Right, because at the end of the day, some things still require that human touch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's something that developers are very aware of as
Yeah.
they're building these systems.
It's like we're entering this new era of AI, but we still need to proceed with caution. Make sure we don't give these machines too much power.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's all about finding that sweet spot between innovation and responsibility.
And transparency, right?
Mm.
Like, users should be able to understand how these AI systems are making decisions, especially when those decisions affect them directly.
100%. Transparency is key.
Yeah.
It builds trust.
Because ultimately, it all comes down to trust. We have to be able to trust these AI systems to a certain extent, but that trust has to be earned.
And articles like this one from OpenAI, they're helping to build that trust by being open about the technology, how it works, and the challenges that come with it.
This whole conversation has been really eye-opening. I feel like I've learned a lot about where AI is headed and the importance of developing it responsibly.
Me too. It's a fascinating field.
Yeah.
And it's evolving so rapidly that we need to keep having these conversations.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
And until next time.
This has been the Deep Dive signing off.